Okay, so what we're asking is the discernment between what are natural facts and what are beliefs, and the difference between the two, to understand if people actually make that discernment. So we'd just like to ask you some questions, and we're looking just for your honest, spontaneous answer. We've got a YouTube channel, by the way. If it's okay, we would film it and upload it.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a question that John always asks, which I think is very good. Do you think your thoughts are your own?
What, sir?
Do you think that your thoughts are your own thoughts?
Not always.
Well, not at all, yeah.
No?
Well, I think most of them are influenced by what happened in the war, what people say, what you read on the social network,
Okay.
as well as in the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you then say that, for example, those kind of things are more beliefs because you haven't experienced them for yourself, and you're getting second-hand knowledge that somebody is telling you on the TV or in the media or in the press?
Yeah, but
would you agree?
I think the second-hand knowledge is everything. Like, apart from the direct experience, you can't know everything, so you need to divide things in kind of groups. It's kind of protection sometimes.
Would it be true to say, though, that if you're being told things that contradict absolutely facts that you know for certain are true, would you then say that those things that are being told are false?
I think it depends on your character. Like, if you're not so self-confident, maybe you will.
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
So what?
I agree with this mainstream.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if I was to tell you that fire is cold, you would laugh at me, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And if I was to tell you that, for example, water, which is a natural element that covers so much of this earth, and you're also made of water, we're all made of water, or 75% water. If I were to tell you that, for example, water is always level, absolutely level, so, and it's always contained, so for example, glass in a cup, or in the wash basin, or in the bathtub, or in the swimming pool, or in a lake, water is always level. Would you say that that's a natural fact that you can observe, you can repeat, you can test, you can measure, you can do it, I can do it, everybody can do it? Would you say that's a fact?
Well, here, yeah, but
on
if
Earth.
you go to, on Earth, yeah, but if you go in the university where there is no gravity, then you don't need I don't know the word, I mean, it's container for the water. I mean, it's just...
But can you observe that? Can you test that? Can you do that
No,
yourself?
I just saw videos of people,
So
astronauts.
you would have to rely on somebody else's testimony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't have the means to prove it, to taste it.
Sure. And if I was to show you, for example, a picture of the Loch Ness Monster, would you believe me that the Loch Ness Monster exists?
Well, why not? I mean...
Well, I like the fact that you think I'm truthful, but...
No, I mean, yeah, of course.
But you wouldn't say that's scientific evidence,
No. Without scientific evidence.
Or show you a photograph of Superman flying through the air in New York. Would that convince you that it was real?
No.
According to what we know about gravity and what we learn at school, we won't trust you, but maybe, you never know, maybe we learn all our life bullshit.
Well, that's exactly what we're coming on to. So,
I don't know.
So do you believe that you live in a spinning globe of Earth?
Do you believe you live on a space ball that is covered with water and that the water curves?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a belief or a fact?
Well, about the
Could that be bullshit?
Could it be bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, of course. I mean, There were a lot of studies, a lot of theories as well.
Theories, yes.
But
It's not fact. Theories are not fact.
yeah, no, of course, but at one point I think you have to rely on someone that studied more than you, or
We need to believe 100% of what we're told. Do we need to accept it all without verifying it for ourselves? How do we know it's true?
It, even though we don't believe it, I think. It's like the verb itself, believe, is like different from see. So everything you don't see with your own eye or experience is, you never know if it's true or not. You just have to believe it,
Yeah.
or you could choose to believe it or not.
Don't you find in general people do believe it because it's been told by authority, even though they have no direct experience themselves, but because everybody else believes it, the media is telling them to believe it. I don't know about it in Italy, but here in Britain we have the BBC News, BBC television channel, and every programme we get, we have a spinning ball, and I've had that for all my life, this spinning ball going around, implanting in my head. That's where I live, so that we don't question it. And I think myself and my friend Gavin here, we've never questioned it since we were told that in school until quite recently. And now we are questioning it. We're asking, well, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that water can conform to the exterior of a shape to stick on a ball? Where's the evidence that gravity exists? I mean, they can't replicate that. They should be able to replicate it. They should be able to prove it. They should be able to repeat the exercise or build models so that we can see it and verify for ourselves. But that isn't there, so we're not really using our own critical thinking and demanding for some evidence, some real evidence, which we can see for ourselves. And as Gavin was saying, that we can look at our natural world around us, we can observe water, like when they say ships are going over the horizon. Have you ever heard that? They can see a ship going over the horizon?
No.
You never heard that, no?
That's usually one of the
Claims.
the proofs that they bring that the Earth is a ball, because when the ship goes down, the bottom disappears first, and then you can only see the top half of the ship.
But I never tasted.
Never
it.
had
I mean,
But maybe just to go back to the fact that I think it's okay sometimes when you can't maybe do the experiment yourself and you trust somebody to take that on board, yeah. But only if it does not contradict a natural fact that you can yourself observe. So I mean, I get back to the water as the prime example. If somebody tells me water can bend, show convexity, yeah, like make a hump, then there's nowhere on this earth that I can experience that. So that contradicts what I'm being told, right? That contradicts the natural facts, and I think then it's correct to start engaging your critical thinking. Yeah? But I do agree. Sometimes there are certain things where it would be too difficult to try and do it yourself. You don't have the equipment, you don't have the money, the resource, the time. But if it contradicts something that you see every day in the common livings of life, then surely our critical thinking needs to stand up and say, wait a minute, that can't be right. Would you agree? That, I mean, you can make those natural observations yourself. So, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, in the scientific,
Community?
Yeah, no, but there's something that is not that I don't know how to say, man. But
we appreciate you trying to communicate and not your first language, so that's commendable. I couldn't do that in another language, so I appreciate that.
But I mean, it's like you have to find I don't know, maybe a math formulation to prove that what is said is false.
Okay.
Or I mean, it's.
But that is convention as well. Math is convention as well.
So, do you know
learn
the
it
difference
in school.
between a natural science and a formal science? So, a formal science is something that is based on a language. Mathematics is a formal science where you make definitions, axioms, and assumptions, and then you build a language with equations and everything. And natural science is about observing, repeating, testing the natural world that we live in. So physics is more like natural science, and mathematics is a formal science, like a language. So you can make definitions of mathematics that fit certain models, but it's not a natural fact. It's a model.
Yeah, it's a way to
It's a model to describe things.
describe a natural fact. Of course, is conventional. Yes, of course,
But when mathematical models overweigh the natural facts, so if you like, are taking more and more power, and the visualization of a model is taken to be a fact, and the natural experience that you have is completely ignored, then I personally find that dangerous. And it's only maybe 3 years that I'm questioning these things. And I studied there. In 1986, I got a combined honours degree in mathematics and physics. I was pretty good at it. Now I'm 52, and since 3 years, what I was told is not the world I live in. I don't know where I live. And I think it's to do with the fact that I didn't critically think all these years. I accepted what I was told. And that's why we're out speaking to people. I know it sounds strange, but...
no,
It sounds really true, actually.
yeah, it's...
There is. I can show you a picture.
Yeah.
So do you think there's a possibility that perhaps what you've been told about the shape of where you live is not true?
Yeah, it could be, because we didn't experience it directly, apart from what we can touch and see.
Yeah.
But sometimes even the view is not so...
Truthful.
Yeah, sometimes we see just what we want to see. Like, sometimes the mind cannot see everything.
We see the concepts rather than seeing the actuality. Yeah.
Do you maybe just one further question, and then we won't take up any more of your time. But do you trust your senses?
Yeah, but not always.
No.
Why not?
Because
Or which ones? Maybe I should ask which of the senses do you not trust?
I trust this one, the nose.
The nose? Okay.
I trust the nose a lot.
Touch?
So does my dog, actually.
Yeah, the touch maybe, but not the view at all.
So seeing is the one you don't trust?
Yeah.
And what about you? Do you trust your senses?
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes when maybe I don't feel very good, maybe I can't. I'm not sure about myself, you know, like when you don't feel very good and you.
When you're ill, things taste differently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Not always.
But do you think you could cross the road without getting killed if you didn't trust your eyes?
Yeah.
So you must trust them to a certain extent. Then.
So you do trust your eyes, right?
No, I mean.
You look left
sometimes.
and right?
Yeah, but I think the brain really affects the view.
So, yeah.
Like the human view, we cannot see everything we have around us, but we don't know it.
Or we have some problem, so we can see.
Sure, if you've got an impairment or something, yeah, I fully agree. But I mean, I do think that if I didn't have my common senses, then I wouldn't be able to get dressed. I wouldn't be able to walk to the shops. I couldn't cross the street without killing myself, right? If I didn't trust what my eyes see and what my eyes don't see, right?
Yeah.
So, but
not all. I said not all the time. I do trust them, but not all the time. I know they don't show me everything.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that because there's a lot of discussion about, optical illusions and why we see different things and how the brain somehow interprets that information. But if I was to tell you that light, the way light behaves doesn't change, and your eye doesn't change, its physiology doesn't change from one moment to the next. So if we speak properly, your senses are, your eye, when I'm talking about eyesight and light, they don't change, so they're not tricking you. Your mind is maybe tricking you, right? But not your senses. So you should trust your senses. You might not trust your perception of your mind.
Yeah,
so just that's
but
what
you
I
see
would make that
through
distinction.
the perception of your mind.
And that depends on what you believe, right?
Yeah.
We're back to that. We're back to that.
Always.
That terrible word.
That terrible word. So, well, I hope we've maybe made you think a little bit different and have a look, maybe. And if you want to look at the video, we've been doing a lot of interviews, so we'll probably put it all together into 1 hour-long video with 10 minutes. The channel is called Beyond the Imaginary Curve.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So, if you want to have a look on YouTube, have a little bit further, and I hope we haven't taken too much of your time.
Yeah,
No.
thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best with your studies. Sorry. Yep.